Hello everybody, it's Jeanette Verda. Today I'm going to share with you a different kind of project. This is called a pocket letter. So a pocket letter, it's pretty self-explanatory, pockets, and the idea is that together when you fill this up, you have a letter of sorts. But with it, you have the ability to put little presents for whoever you're giving your letter to. Now, typically, or not typically, but often, you can use, so if you've heard of Project Life, with Project Life, you've got kind of the same thing. You have these plastic sleeves that have different sized openings for different sized cards, and you can use those plastic sleeves to do a pocket letter. You can use baseball card sleeves. So if you've got, you've seen in the store sleeves for holding your baseball cards, that works great for a pocket letter. The one that I have here, I use this in rather gigantic binders. These are what I use for my ephemera storage. So this is how I store my ephemera. I have these that have the 9 squares, then I have ones that have 4 squares, and the ones that have 2 squares, and then of course just the full sheet. And I just store my ephemera in the different pockets and then in binders. So since I have that, this would make a perfect little pocket letter. Now it is slightly the size, of course I'm also in Europe, so this is a sized for our binders and papers. So the boxes are slightly smaller and a little longer than a typical Project Life file sleeve would be. So if you happen to have there are dies that you can get with the Project Life that allow you to cut out the papers. That wouldn't fit in mine. So I do have a die, but it didn't fit into this one. And I didn't have a Project Life sleeve that I liked that had the 9 available. I only had ones that I liked 2, and said I wanted the 9, so went with this. But you do not have to have anything special to do these pocket letters. As you can see, what I've done is I just measured and just cut my paper. So I am using the Tess-A-Penpal by Thoughtful Studio, and then also the ephemera pieces. So some of them I've decorated with ephemera. And I haven't done anything fancy because the idea here is this is a way of sharing with your friend, not impressing your friend, right? So yes, you want to give them something nice, something pretty, something that they will enjoy, but it's, this is definitely one of the thought that counts. This is you sharing something with your friend, them sharing something with you. You do not have to spend hours making this really pretty. So I'm going to show you, haven't done an extensive amount of decorating and making everything, fancy dancy, so that, that it's, like I said, it's the thought that counts. So I've just made simple little cards, and typically, so I'm going to fill the cards so that the pockets, so they will be rather full. So what I've done is, and what I typically do with a pocket letter, is the front has all of my little, things that I'm sharing, and the back is flat, so nothing on the other side. So here, as you can see, I just used a couple of the ephemera pieces from the Tess-A-Penpal collection, and others I've put some quotes, just so that it's pretty. Now the wonderful thing about this is that once they've taken out all their goodies and used them, these make great journal cards. So you can either keep them in here, maybe use it as a Project Life. What I love about pocket letters is that I have a couple of these that are absolutely falling apart because they've gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you take out all your little pieces, and like I said, these make great little journal cards for future projects. They've got all the little pieces that you've given them to use in their projects, and then they fill it up and send it back to you. Either that, or you can, again, like I said, if you are a Project Life person, there's your Project Life. Hey, start your own ephemera binder. So I've figured figured out what I want in all the pieces, and I'll show you how I put it together. So this corner up here, I'm going to put this in now. I'm going to include a letter that will go in here, just a little thing saying hi, and then that will go into this little pocket as well. But for right now, it's just going to sit like that. Okay, my next pocket, I have this little card, and on the back, let me tell you a story. So again, like I said, this makes great journal cards when you're done. So I'm going to slide this in, and on this one, so I love to make jewelry. And one of the things I like to do is bead weaving. And so I've made this little bracelet. And at our local drugstore, well, it's not really a drugstore, it's like a, I don't know what you call it here, but like a little department store. They sell these great little plastic baggies that has a little glue thing on. Now you could just put the items right into the sleeve. I like to put them in another little baggie just to ring them in, especially if I've got, and you'll see in one of my other pockets, I've got a lot of little bits. So there's my second one. Looks good. Now my third one, I've got this little card, and on the back, capture this moment. Slide that in there, and for this one, I've got a couple of little wood tacks. And slide those in there. And it's okay if it sticks out a bit. And like I said, you can see these are getting pretty chunky, but that is perfectly fine. Okay. Now my next one, another thing I like to do is I have been playing around with resin. So here's my next card. This one I put a little guy on this side, and on the other side just some more decoration and own your story. Again, wonderful little journal card. So what I've done is I took a couple of, well, I took some of the paper from the Tess-A-Penpal and used the Tim Holtz, there's a tag maker. It's little rings, and you can put the piece of paper in there, and then it closes it down so you have a nice tag. But then what I did was I poured some resin in and then cured it. I use UV resin because it's there's no fumes, you don't have to worry about that, and it cures very quickly. So I made that one. This one had a couple of bubbles, didn't come out quite as pretty, but it's that one. And then just for funsies, I made a few more. Let me show these to you. These are just, and ignore I'm always covered in ink. I'm one of those people that does not care that it gets stuff or I use my fingers. So these are just like, here we got a couple of little flowers put into the resin. These are, there's some beads in there put into the resin. And then this one has a little shell, and this one I put a little gear. Now these, I'm not sure how well these can be used because I didn't do a very good job. The other side is kind of rounded, but they're really cute. They could be used in a number of different ways, or just put somewhere, in a little jar or something. And so what you can do with these is just a little bit of glue on the back, and they make a nice little ephemera piece on your page, as well as these little buttons. So again, I'm going to put this into a little baggie. I'm going to put it in so that they show nicely on the side there. Okay, and I'm just going to wrap this around like that and close this off. Now this, I have a bag here of tons of these guys, and I think it was like $1 for all of these. So not bad, not bad, not bad. And there we go. There's that pocket. Okay, next, this one for the middle, I wanted to have a little quote, and I used a Sakura Jelly Roll souffle, and I wanted to still be able to see the stars in the background, so it's a little pale. It might be a little too pale, but it still works. You can read it. It says, good friends are like stars. You don't always see them, but you know they're always there. And I thought that went perfect with the star paper. And on the back is just some little pig images from the collection. So that goes in the middle. Oop. So you see that? And you can see from the back, this is looking real nice. Next, another little card. I just made this one to kind of be the mirror to that one, but on the back, life was meant for good friends and adventures. And then this is another ephemera piece, Friends Forever. So that goes in this one. And here, I've got a bunch of paper clips, just a bunch of little random paper clips, little heart. I'm going to hook this one right over it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to think I'll put it on this side so you can see my little ephemera piece. And then I've got just a little spiral, an airplane, right? It goes nicely with the airplane. And then a little arrow. So these I'm just going to slide down in there. Maybe I should put those in a bag, but for right now I'm just going to put them in there. And since they're not on the side, I'm just going to give that a little shake. There we go. Next, you have to be able to see, oops. I chose these because they aren't too sticky. And look, and they are not too sticky. So what this is another card. So this one you can see in the back there. And then the back is just the dots. And this is some washi tape. And what I did was made the card and then ran it through my laminator. And I have a dry laminator, so cool laminator. That's what I mean. It's Xyron, and you just through. There's no heat or anything, so you don't have to worry about anything that you put through. I found that very, very useful. And I laminated it so that the washi tape would not stick. If you don't have a laminator, what you could do is take one of these plastic sleeves, put your card in the plastic sleeve, and then run the washi tape around that. The paper would give the sleeve the stability, and then the plastic would mean that the washi tape doesn't stick. And I also tend to use my less sticky washi tape. I haven't had too much of a problem with that. If it sits for a certain amount of time, or even if it's in the summer and this gets mailed, sometimes if it's really sticky, you might have some difficulties getting it off itself, because with the heat it can make it adhere. So I tend to choose my less sticky. When I give it, make sure they know if you want to put this on your paper, I would just run it across a glue stick. That will ensure that it'll stay right where it needs to be. So put that in there. Oops. Make sure it doesn't. Okay. Next one, we have this card. So just left the card there. And then on the back, we have create what's important for you. Let's put that in there. And what I've done is made a whole bunch of seals. And I do have a series coming up showing you different ways of making seals. These are just some basic seals. And so stay tuned. You'll see that soon. Let me put this in this little baggie. Pull that over and take that off. These are very useful little baggies. And in he goes. And then for my last one, I like to, like you can see, these are not, all paper craft pieces. Like the little bit of jewelry is just an extra special thing. And I like to also add something to say, hope you have a great day. And this paper inspired me. So little teapots on the back. Live, create, tell the story, repeat. And so what I went with that was a nice little thing of green chai tea. So it says, relax, enjoy, and have a great day. All in one sweet little, and that slides right in there. And that, like I said, the teapot inspired me. So there we have our pocket letter. Now you can, here they've got a rule now that anything that isn't strictly a piece of paper can't go in an envelope. Driving me nuts, but so this will have to go into a box. But that's fine, because I've now made it so chunky that it doesn't fold very well. I have a tendency to do that, but as you can see, you can fold it like this, slide it in maybe a larger sized envelope. One of those little padded envelopes would work. If you didn't put things that are too chunky, you can fold it again and even fit it into another envelope. So depending on what you put in, these mail very easily. Like I said, here unfortunately I have to put it into a box, but rules, rules, rules. And like I said, this makes a nice little set of journaling cards. Once all of the little washi tape is used, you can use that as a journaling card as well, or again, use it to give somebody else some of your extra washi tape. I can speak English easy. So anyways, there you go. Nice little present for your friend. And this nice little way of saying you are special. So, and I love this paper. This paper is perfect for this kind of thing. Pen Pal, Happy Mail. It's just, yeah, absolutely perfect for this kind of thing. And all these little guys says, I'm sending you something across the miles. So, perfect. So, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. If you have questions, let me know, and I will see you later.